Good morning, children. Today we are going to deal with the additional questions, the short questions, which will be of 30, which you have to write in 30 to 40 words of the chapter Deep Water by William O. Douglas. So without wasting any time, let me start straight away with the questions. When did Douglas decide to learn swimming? What options were available to him to swim in? Which one did he choose and why? Douglas was 10 or 11 years old when he decided to learn swimming. The choices he had were first of Yakima River and the second was of the YMCA pool. But YMCA pool in Yakima was safer, whereas Yakima River was dangerous. So he chose the YMCA pool as it was considered safe. Which factors led Douglas to decide in favor of YMCA pool? I have already told you that YMCA pool was safe, and the description of the pool also, that at the shallow end it was just 2 or 3 feet deep, and at the deeper end it was only 9 feet deep. So the drop was also very gradual. So he decided that in favor of the YMCA pool. On the other hand, why the Yakima River was very treacherous. I had an aversion to the water when I was in it, said Douglas. When did he start having an aversion and how? Now, the aversion started when Douglas was just 3 or 4 years old. His father had taken him to the California beach, and where they were standing together in the surf, and he was holding his father tightly, and one of the waves knocked him down, and he was almost buried in water, and his breath was gone. He was frightened, and there was terror in his heart about the overpowering forces of the waves. So that was the seed of fear. For the first time it was sown in his heart when he was just 3 or 4 years old. Next question. How did Douglas initially feel when he went to the YMCA pool? What made him feel comfortable? Now, unpleasant memories of the past were revived, obviously, and those childhood fears which he had, that also got stirred. And however, in a little while, he gained confidence and he got wings for himself with which he paddled, and he watched the other boys and tried to imitate them, and he did so 2 or 3 times on different days, and then he started feeling a bit comfortable. Describe the boy who was responsible for the author's misadventure. Now, the boy who was responsible for the author's misadventure was a big boy, a bruiser. He was probably 18 years old and he had thick hair on his chest, and he had a beautiful physique with legs and arms having rippling muscles, and obviously he was a loving fellow who enjoyed teasing the younger and the weaker boys. Next question. How did the misadventure happen with Douglas? Douglas was sitting alone on the side of the pool waiting for others. A big bruiser boy of 18 years, he came in, and mocking him as skinny, he simply picked him up and threw him at the deeper end of the pool, tossed him into the 9 feet deep end, and obviously Douglas, he struck the surface of water, swallowed water, and at once went to the bottom. A very important question. I was frightened, but not frightened out of my wits, says Douglas. Which qualities of the speaker are highlighted here and how? Douglas was frightened when he went down into the pool and was about to be drowned. Obviously, we know that he had an aversion of water and now he was filled with terror. He had remarkable self control. So, even in that situation, he used his mind in that crisis and thought of a strategy to save himself from being drowned. Now, the next question. On the way down, I planned, remarks Douglas. What plan did he devise and how far did it succeed? So, as he was going to the bottom, he made a plan to save himself from being drowned. He decided that when his feet would touch the bottom of the pool, he would give a big jump, hoping that he would move up to the surface of the water like a cock, and then he would lie flat, and after that he would paddle to the edge of the pool. The plan was we found that the plan was only partly successful. He rose to the surface twice, but each time he only swallowed water and went down. Next question. What did Douglas experience as he went to the bottom of the pool for the first time? Going down to the depth of 9 feet was not a quick affair. It seemed that it took ages for his feet to touch the bottom of the pool, and before his feet could touch the bottom, it seemed that his lungs were as if ready to burst. And in spite of all these things, all adversities, he did not lose his presence of mind, and using all his strength, he made a great jump upwards. Now, what sort of terror seized Douglas as he went down the water with a yellow glow? How could he feel he was still alive? So, an absolute rigid terror seized Douglas. It was a terror that knew no understanding, because before we know that before that twice he had gone and his feet had touched the bottom of the pool and he was unable to come to the surface and swim to the edge of the pool. So after that he was so terrorized that he was no understanding or control was left. It was beyond comprehension of anyone, the terror that he experienced. He was paralyzed. It seemed that he was paralyzed underwater, stiff, rigid, and he tried to scream, but his screams were also frozen. The beating of his heart and throbbing of his mind made him feel that he was still alive. Next question. I crossed to oblivion and the curtain of life fell. How did Douglas experience the sensation of dying before he actually crossed to oblivion? So as Douglas went down the pool the third time, he swallowed more water. All his efforts to jump up ceased. His legs felt limp. A blackness swept over his brain and it wiped out fear and terror. There was no more panic. It was quiet and peaceful. He felt drowsy and he wanted to go to sleep. Sleep as if in his mother's arms. Next question. How did Douglas react to the frightening experience that day and later when he came to know the waters of the Cascades? Now, two consequences rather we are having. The first is that he walked home after several hours. He was weak and trembling. He shook and cried when he lay on his bed. He couldn't eat that night. A haunting fear was there in his heart, and the slightest exertion upset him. His knees became wobbly. He felt sick to his stomach. And then the second one, later, what happened when he came to know the waters of the Cascades. Whenever he waded the Titan or bumping river or bathed in warm lake or goat rocks, the terror that had seized him in the pool would come back. The terror would take possession of him completely. His legs would become paralyzed. Icy horror would grab his heart. Now, next question. This handicap stayed with me as the years rolled by. How did it affect his pursuits for pleasure? Now, the haunting fear followed Douglas everywhere, and he rode in canoes on Maine lakes, fishing for landlocked salmon. He went for bass fishing in New Hampshire, trout fishing on the Deschutes and Metolius in Oregon, fishing for salmon on the Columbia at Bumping Lake in the Cascades. Fear ruined his fishing trips. It deprived him of the joy of canoeing, boating, and swimming. What efforts did Douglas make to get over his fear of water, and why? Fear of water was obviously a handicap for Douglas that he had developed during his childhood, and it stayed with him as he grew older. It ruined all his pursuits of pleasure like canoeing, boating, swimming, and fishing. So he wanted to overcome this fear. So, determined to overcome the fear, he got an instructor and learned how to swim. Why does Douglas say the instructor was finished, but I was not finished? This line has been quoted from the chapter. How did he overpower tiny vestiges of the old terror? Now, the instructor's work was over when he built a swimmer out of Douglas piece by piece and then put them together into an integrated whole. However, Douglas was not satisfied, as the remnants of the old terror would return whenever he swam alone in the pool. It would frown, he would frown on terror, go for another length of the pool. So it was still, the fear still remained with him. He was still not able to overcome the fear. Now, why did Douglas go to Lake Wentworth in New Hampshire? How did he make his terror flee? So here, this was his final step that he took, because as I told you that still the terror was there, the remnants of the old terror were there. So what did he do next was that to make sure that all terror had left him, he went to Lake Wentworth and swam 2 miles, and terror returned only once when he was in the middle of the lake. He had put his face under and saw nothing but the bottomless water. And the old sensation, again, it returned in a smaller size, but very bravely he laughed and rebuked terror. His terror fled away and he swam on. So this was how finally terror could flee. So these are some of the external and some of the board questions also I want to discuss with you, which were the first question you have. Which two incidents in Douglas's early life made him scared of water? The first incident was when he was 3 or 4 years old, and when he had gone to the beach, California beach, along with his father, and a big wave knocked him down, and he got almost buried in that water, and he became breathless, and that was the first time he got frightened. And the second time was when he was 10 or 11 years old, and a big bully, a bruiser of a boy, tossed him to the deeper end of the YMCA pool, and he could not come to the surface in spite of all the efforts, and became panicky. So these two incidents made Douglas scared of water. Now there's another question which was there in the year 2011 as well as 2014. Why did Douglas prefer to go to YMCA swimming pool to learn swimming? So this I have already discussed with you, that YMCA pool, he had two choices, Yakima River as well as YMCA pool, and YMCA pool was obviously safer. Yakima River was very treacherous, and moreover, the swimming pool had a gradual slope, with the shallow end about 2 to 3 feet deep and deeper end 9 feet. So that was much safer, and they decided that he should learn swimming at the YMCA pool. Then there's another question. What did Douglas feel and do when he was pushed into the swimming pool? So when Douglas was thrown into the pool, he did not lose his heart. He made a strategy. He planned that when his feet would touch the bottom, he would give a big jump. And once he came to the surface, he would paddle to the edge of the pool. But In reality, thrice he tried to come to the surface, but unfortunately his strategy did not work and his lungs were ready to burst. He was breathless, and instead of air, he only sucked water. Then there's another question of 2014. How did his swimming instructor build a swimmer out of Douglas? Now, the instructor, bit by bit, piece by piece, he built a swimmer out of Douglas. First, he made him shed his initial fear by moving to and fro, by attaching a rope to his, tying a rope to him, and then suspending it by a through a pulley, and then the instructor himself, he held the rope, and but however, whenever he relaxed, we find that Douglas, he would start going on inside water. So then the narrator, he would step by step, he taught him for months, he taught this movement, moving to and fro, then how to have control over his legs, and then finally master the strokes. How did Douglas make sure that he conquered the old terror? So after this, again I had discussed, after the instructor had taught him, still the tiny vestiges of the terror was left. So we find him going to Lake Wentworth, and where once the terror returned, but he challenged it, and he finally he swam, and the fear didn't return or haunt him again. Then another question. Why was Douglas determined to get over his fear of water? Now, obviously, he had developed that phobia of water, which hampered all the joys of enjoying different water sports like fishing, canoeing, boating, and swimming. And he did not want to live with the handicap, so he was determined to overcome his fear of water. There's another question in 2010 and 11, both we have it, a similar kind of question. What did Douglas experience when he went down to the bottom of the pool? When the author was going down to the bottom of the pool for the first time, the 9 feet deep pool, it seemed to him as 90, his lungs were ready to burst, but somehow he summoned all his strength and sprang upwards, hoping to reach the surface, bobbed to the surface like a cock, as he had imagined. But when he opened his eyes, he saw nothing but water, and he tried to grab, but his hands could reach only water, his hands could grab only water. Now, there are many similar questions which I have already given to you, so I'm not discussing all of them, but those with slight difference, those I'm discussing. Then there's another question. When Douglas realized that he was sinking, how did he plan to save himself? Again, the same question, that how he would make a big jump, and then he would come to the surface, and then he would fly on the surface, and finally paddle to the edge of the pool. What next one question is there, 2010. What sort of terror seized Douglas as he went down the water with a yellow glow? How could he feel that he was still alive? When Douglas found himself deep down into the water with a yellow glow, stark terror gripped him. The terror ripped him apart, and he had no control over it. He felt paralyzed, stiff, and rigid with fear. Even the screams in his throat were frozen. It was only his throbbing heart that made him realize that he was still alive. So basically, if you will do all these questions and the long answers and the textual questions that are there already in the book and which we have already dealt with, this will cover the whole chapter, and you will be able to tackle all the questions that you will be getting it. Thank you, children. Have a nice day.